Show you a new feature that we just deployed, and it's available for everyone. It's still in beta, so some issues might arise. If so, just send us an email and we'll get on it as soon as we can. So what is this new feature? So until now, you know that we offer synthetic users that you can use to interview and to ask questions, or just give our research assistant any goal, and he will then ask the questions by himself to the users. As always, we have these interviews, all of this here. So I generated some user, consumer, and market researchers, and I told my assistant that my goal was to understand if they know about synthetic users, what they think about it, and also in answer to one request I got on LinkedIn, ask them what are their expectations regarding the impact of this kind of technology in the job market. And I have here all my interviews that I've run 10 of them, and I also have my report that I also ran from the interview. So mixed reactions, recognition of potential efficiency gains, emphasis on the irreplaceable value of human empathy and nuanced understanding, ethical guidelines, and the anticipated evolution of the researcher towards more strategic and interpretative work. And we have here all the sections that we have that were pulled from there. But of course, this text is helpful for us to have an overview of what was said during the interviews. But there's something that the humans love, which is having visual. So what we implemented was essentially this step. So you can now generate a knowledge graph based on the interviews that were run with the synthetic users, and that's what I'm about to do, to show you essentially how it works. And how it works, it's quite dull, because you just click this button. From the moment you click this button, we collect the interviews that you've already run, and we go to the model one by one, and we start generating this graph in an iterative way, enriching it with all the interviews that you run. So we take interview one, we run it, we get the first knowledge graph, then we update that graph with interview two, interview three, and so on and so on. And at the end, you're going to get a beautiful knowledge graph that includes the major topics that were discussed and the connections and relationships between the entities that were surfaced during the interview. I think this is, if you don't know what a knowledge graph is, we're going to share a link, also kind of give you an overview, but it's an extremely efficient visual way of representing information. That's what we do here. I can also tell you right now already that you're going to be able to download this knowledge graph in several different formats. You can download them as SVG if you want the type of image that you can just zoom in and never loses any quality. You can download them as PNG, slightly more compressed format, but also lighter, easily shareable on Slack or on an email, or you can just download it as a PDF. All our knowledge graphs are open in a new tab because they tend to be big and a little bit complex to navigate on this small screen, on the small area that we have here. So you can do this at any time. After all the interviews are finished and processed, we have a final step in which we clean up the graph to give it, to make sure that it has the coherence and it's capturing all the information that we wanted to capture, and that's it. So we're at interview 9 right now. We are aiming to make the system faster, but right now it still takes a little bit of time, particularly for studies that have 10 interviews, which is our max. We're planning to expand this soon. And we're also planning a couple of new things that I'll tell you next week what they're about. But essentially, one of them is allowing you to provide sources. So if you have material that you think can be used to enrich and ground the interviews and the outputs of the synthetic users, we're going to allow people to do exactly that and import those elements to our system. And then at the generation, when they start generating a study, they can decide which sources to include and for this enrichment. So we're about to close. If it doesn't crash, you know how these things go. Demos are kind of magnets for bugs and for crashes, but hopefully we're going to get a beautiful knowledge graph about what do user, consumer, and market researchers think about synthetic users, particularly with a focus on the impact in the job market. So let's see, it should be almost finishing. And here we have it. We also have this preview here. You can download in PDF, in PNG, but if you click it, you're gonna open on a new tab and you're gonna be able to see our knowledge graph in its full glorious connections. I'm being a little bit lyric about the topic, but I'm really excited about this. So let me just refresh. I think it didn't render immediately because we were in that preview. Let's just give it a couple of seconds. As I said, that feature. And here we have it. So you can easily zoom in on the graph to see what's going on. So synthetic users in market research, insights and implications. So we have this blue section about the potential, the perception of synthetic users with potential benefits, efficiency and scalability, and concerns and limitations, ethical concerns, authenticity concerns, emotional nuances, data privacy. Then this section here about research methodology. Then this one about skills and development, and this one here about the impact of the job market. So one question that I got on LinkedIn was regarding job displacement concerns. Here they are. And here on the implementation strategies for synthetic users. So we hope you enjoy this new way of looking. You can see here the download buttons of looking at the insights that were generated from the interviews in a more visual way. Looking forward for any feedback or criticism or concerns that you have regarding this feature or the product in general. Just reach out to hugo@syntheticusers.com and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much.